The year was 1904, and the adventure of the oil boom was a frontier to be conquered, promising excitement, endless opportunity, and the chance for a better life. When Felix Gorman was beckoned by his brother-in-law to come see firsthand this land of opportunity, Bartlesville did not disappoint. The fledgling village was on the verge of historic growth. The foundation for a bustling community was being laid, and someone would be lucky enough to build it. Felix knew in his heart those builders should be the Gormans. Felix wrote to his wife Fanny and eldest son Arthur in Waco, Texas. Bartlesville was mostly tents and mud streets, but it was booming.
And he wrote back to his family. He had 9 children in the family, and his oldest son, whom I'm named after, my uncle Arthur Gorman, and told him to sell the farm, sell the house, sell everything they had there, and pack up the family and move to Bartlesville.
It wasn't long until Felix met 2 wildcatting brothers who were working on their own fledgling oil dreams, Frank and Ellie Phillips. Felix quickly set out to get people out of tents and into homes, the most notable located on Cherokee Avenue, the Frank Phillips home.
He did a lot of building, and he built apartments, he built homes, he built buildings. The remaining structures that I know of is Frank Phillips' house, naturally, and the last building he built was the First Christian Church.
I'm working on a building, I'm working on a building.
After Felix's death, his son Arthur J. Gorman, a practicing architect, took over the family company. With help from sister Imogene and his youngest brother Charlie, the company continued to thrive, creating many of Bartlesville's most celebrated structures. Not the least of these was Woolaroc's Museum and Lodge. The Gorman Construction Company flourished alongside the booming city of Bartlesville right up to the 1930s when the Great Depression hit.
When the Depression hit, Bartlesville shut down, totally shut down. And Dad had to find other sources of income because he's starting a family.
The Gorman's company ceased operations for a time. That is until Charlie hatched a plan, one that would save the family business.
He told me, he said, every dollar I could get borrowed, saved or begged, or yet he'd bought Phillips stock.
The price was cheap, but he knew the company would rise again, and when it did, so would Gorman Construction Company. Charlie's eldest son, Arthur Paul Gorman, wasn't planning on joining his father's family construction business. But upon returning home from the Army in 1956, his father Charlie presented him the opportunity of a lifetime.
I was looking for jobs. I was interviewing for jobs, and spent Christmas about a month home with Dad, helping to bid a job, the Ranch Heights School, and he bid the job and got the job. Dad walked out the car with me as I was leaving. He said, "You bid it, you build it."
Arthur returned to the land of his forefathers and began laying the foundation for the next phase of the Gorman legacy. Along the way, he met a young and vibrant teacher, Carolyn Kritzer.
And so I inquired about who that good-looking gal was sitting over there. I wasn't married, and I was, had my eye out.
They were married and soon after started constructing some new additions of their own, Thomas Arthur Gorman and John Simpson Gorman. Arthur bought Gorman Inc. from his father in 1966, and while he was busy developing many of Bartlesville's most recognizable structures, his wife Carolyn was busy building up other areas of the community. Drawing from her background in education, Carolyn volunteered to help create the parent support groups, as well as the Bartlesville Public School Foundation.
My father was a great community worker, and he always said, if you're going to live in a community, if you're going to take your livelihood from the community, you need to give back to the community.
The Gormans have a strong value system, I believe. Again, sense of community, They're very visible in the community, and I think that's what makes them such an asset to Bartlesville.
Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it.
Art and Carolyn's eldest son, Tom, returned to Bartlesville in the early 90s to head up the newly formed Gorman Management Company. Although it wasn't part of his initial plan, Tom is grateful that life led him back home to Bartlesville.
I don't know when the sentiment really started, but it was probably in high school somewhere, and then first couple years in college, thinking that I would not come back and work in the family business. As I got into economics and business, I started to have a greater and greater respect for what my dad had built and the value of that business. It built a motivation for me to have an involvement there that was not present earlier in my life.
When younger son John decided to come home, the next chapter of the Gorman legacy truly began to unfold. Arthur was pleased for John to take the helm of Gorman Construction Company.
I think it was probably always in my mind to go in the construction business. I think the first vehicle I learned to drive was a tractor with a clutch. I'm proud to be part of the Gorman legacy because of the longevity that it's had in Bartlesville. I still today hear comments about my grandfather and of course my dad as well, and the quality of people that they are. So I'm proud to be part of that legacy.
Each generation of the Gorman family, you see that they value working together, not just within their family, really much broader than their family. They see that when they combine their efforts with the good intentions of other people, they really can impact what Bartlesville is like.
Like their fathers before them, the Gormans have lived a life of building a community through service, and their children continue that lifestyle today.
I'm proud of the heritage that my great-grandfather started back in 1904 in Bartlesville, and I'm excited that my brother and I can build on that heritage and continue on in the future in Bartlesville.
And to say that we set some goal out there to build a legacy for the Gorman family is probably not accurate. What I see has happened over the years is you do the best you can at that point in time for your business, your family, and your community, and the end result is what it is.
Well, and then to have my two boys back here carrying on the business and not just the business, but being in the organizations in Bartlesville and being in the leadership area of Bartlesville, it makes me very proud and very happy.
I truly appreciate the way the Gormans come together to support things in the community, whether it is with the arts, whether it's with their leadership, public service. You know, they've been doing this for 3 generations now, and it's just awesome.
We love Bartlesville. You know, we were both born and raised here, and we love it. You know, it's just home, always will be home to us.
Next time you're driving around Bartlesville, take a good look around you. The framework constructed by the Gormans is everywhere, in our buildings, housing, hospital, city government, our schools. The Gormans' giving lifestyle serves as a blueprint for this and future generations. It's families like this that make a community great. It's families like this that truly build a city.